I had a few to choose from, but I mean, ultimately it came down to, what I seen and what I felt like I believed in this team. Feeling like I'm, wanted by our organization. That's really what it came down to.
Whoa, ladies and gentlemen, running back Josh Jacobs got way too real about why he chose the Green Bay Packers over the Las Vegas Raiders. And the Packers, with Jordan Love, have made some major moves in free agency, and the NFC North looks ripe for their taking. Remember to like and subscribe for more content from me, Wi-Fi Willie. A lot of Raiders fans were upset to see Josh Jacobs go, a man who was drafted in 2019 and has a Raiders tattoo and always sacrificed his body for the organization while producing on the field. One Raider who was really upset to see Jacobs go was Devonte Adams, the former Green Bay Packer who is now in Las Vegas, spoke on Instagram today saying been playing this game for a long time and this crap has gotten easier to deal with over time, but this one stings bad. Go be great, my boy. Packers, y'all came up. So Devonte Adams is congratulating the Green Bay Packers on getting Mr. Josh Jacobs, and I think he is a little jealous right now. Keep in mind, he originally left Green Bay because he did not want to play with Jordan Love, and he did not want to risk Rodgers not being there.
In Green Bay, I love Jordan Love, especially he's a great guy, but I got aspirations of doing really big things and being remembered, and I just, it just wasn't really a point in my career that I was willing to sacrifice Aaron not being there, after a year or two. So,
and now, after dealing with Jimmy Garoppolo and the Raiders having question marks at their quarterback position, it seems like Devonte Adams would not mind some Jordan Love. The Packers famously defeated the Dallas Cowboys in the playoffs last year.
Defense, get after Jordan Love. You can't give him that much time. You do what you're supposed to do, we'll win this game.
And left Cowboys fans like Skip Bayless in shambles. Jerry Jones, the owner of the Cowboys, said that they're going all in this year, even though they made only one move. Skip Bayless went off about this, saying, "All in my ass." I think Skip Bayless is really lucky that he's good at grammar and had the punctuation in just the right spot. Unlike the Cowboys, the Packers have been going all in this year, and I think it's a great idea considering the fact that the NFC North is falling apart. Kirk Cousins is no longer part of the Minnesota Vikings. There is a window for them to take advantage here, and they have signed the former New York Giants safety and absolute baller Xavier McKinney. He is going to be handling the backfield at the safety position. And I do not understand why in the hell the New York Giants let this guy go and did not franchise tag him. The Packers did have to let some of their players go, and that was star running back Aaron Jones. And this was kind of sad. People were upset about this considering the fact the dude took a pay cut last year, sacrificed some of his money for the organization, and now the Packers kicked him to the curb and signed Josh Jacobs instead. He is gone to the Minnesota Vikings now and seems a little salty since he's now doing the skull chant.
They says, skull!
I think he's gonna look forward to playing the Packers twice a year. Another man the Packers let go who seems pretty heated about it is star linebacker DAndre Campbell. He has signed a one-year deal with the San Francisco 49ers. Prior to signing this deal, the man was active on Instagram saying someone is about to get a great football player that's been badly misused. Oh well, let's get it though. This dude is straight up calling out the Packers coaching staff, claiming they weren't using him correctly, and now he's gonna get his opportunity in San Francisco to prove Green Bay wrong. Everybody saw this coming. The longtime left tackle, David Bakhtiari, was released by the Green Bay Packers at the start of free agency. This dude has been battling injuries for years and is rarely on the football field, and he does not seem salty about the situation. He gave a heartfelt goodbye to the Green Bay Packers, saying that there's a lot of emotion in this. He said thank you to Green Bay and thank you for the past 11 years. He even gave a sweet little Hallmark line at the end. Don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. I could definitely see that as a decoration at my mom's house. And none of us would be surprised if David Bakhtiari went over there to the New York Jets, joining the now potential vice presidential candidate Aaron Rodgers in New York. In addition to Xavier McKinney, the Packers made some big-time secondary moves, and that was bringing back the former Raider Kesan Nixon. He had been balling out with the Green Bay Packers for the past few years. He obviously has a connection with special teams coach, former interim Raiders head coach Rich Bisaccia, as Kesan Nixon was their primary All-Pro returner. His deal with the Packers is significant, a 3-year deal worth $18 million that could go up to $19 million. So with Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, and now Kesan Nixon, in addition to Xavier McKinney, the Packers have completed their secondary room. The Packers completed the running back room by bringing back the 25-year-old A.J. Dillon. He has had 18 touchdowns over his 4 years with Green Bay, and now with Josh Jacobs, A.J. Dillon has an insurance policy. The Packers running back room is looking like one of the top ones in the entire NFL. As a Raiders fan, one thing that I've always loved about Josh Jacobs is he is not afraid to keep it real. And I saw his opening press conference with the Green Bay Packers today, and it did not disappoint. He was asked about the slow season last year with the Raiders, the season in which the former Raiders head coach Josh McDaniels was fired on Halloween, and Jacobs explained how weird shit was and how they did not even know who the quarterback was going to be in week 1.
The contract stuff and all of that coming in, it was a little different. We had a lot of new moving parts. We didn't really know who the quarterback was going to be. We didn't really know like what our identity was going to be. So, you know, the first few games was kind of rough.
As a Raiders fan, I'll always remember the 2021 season when the interim head coach Rich Bisaccia filled in for John Gruden and helped lead the team to the playoffs. Jacobs seems to have not forgotten that season at all, explaining that Bisaccia was a primary reason why Jacobs is a Green Bay Packer today.
Yeah. Man, Coach Bisaccia, he was, not gonna lie, he was one of the main reasons that I was kind of like wanting to come here too. Just knowing that he was already here and just dealing with him in the past, man, we've always had a tight relationship. You know, that year where he was head coach, we had a lot of like real conversations. We sat down, we talked about life and everything. So to be able to, be around him and that energy that he has every day, I think it's gonna be fun.
Jacobs is probably nostalgic for that season because Josh McDaniels came in afterwards in 2022. And in that 2021 season, we saw how important Josh Jacobs is, how he helped lead the team to the playoffs. And it's crazy that this dude is only 26 years old. I believe he'll be able to help the Green Bay Packers in the same way and help them win the division. The Raiders made a mistake, in my opinion, by not franchise tagging this guy. The Packers pretty much paid him the same amount as the franchise tag. It seems like Jacobs was unhappy with the offer that he received by the Raiders. When he did sign with the Green Bay Packers, he had this message on Instagram, which I thought was pretty real and pretty important. When a player leaves, it's always the player being unloyal. At what point do we ask the franchises for the same loyalty? Jacobs has to deal with some annoying Raiders fans on Twitter who are always giving him a hard time, blaming him currently for him not being a Las Vegas Raider, when it seems like, according to Jacobs, the ball was in their court and the GM Tom Telesco, the owner Mark Davis, ultimately did not follow through and match the Green Bay Packers offer to sign Jacobs in 2024. We were curious, is there more to the story? Could we learn more about what this message means? And Jacobs did not hold back in the press conference and explained to us why he is a Packer today.
I had a few to choose from, but I mean, ultimately it came down to, what I seen and what I felt like I believed in this team, the history of this organization, and feeling like I'm, wanted by an organization. That's really what it came down to.
It seems like the Raiders disrespected Josh Jacobs in negotiations. We do not know the exact offer the Raiders gave Josh Jacobs, but obviously, since they rejected the franchise tag, which is about the same exact money as Green Bay is paying Josh Jacobs today, we know the Raiders offered him less than $13 million on a 1-year deal, fully guaranteed. As a Raiders fan, it does suck to hear Jacobs say that he's glad he's at a place that wants him. What the hell did the Raiders do to make the guy who was third all time in Raiders rushing yards, third all time in Raiders rushing touchdowns, feel unwanted? How badly did they disrespect this guy? The rest of the league seemed to not disrespect Josh Jacobs, as there were multiple teams interested.
It was probably like 10 or 12 teams. It was like 10 or 12 teams. It was kind of weird because they always hitting me at once. But ultimately, like I said, man, I just liked what they had going on over here.
That's insane that over 10 teams were into the guy. Literally over a third of the league wanted Josh Jacobs, and I do not blame them. I agree with Devonte Adams. The Green Bay Packers got an absolute steal. and I wish he was still part of the Raiders, but I am going to be rooting for that guy all day in 2024. Let me know in the comments below, do you think the Green Bay Packers are going to win the division this year? Kirk Cousins is gone, the Bears still have their problems. It seems like the Detroit Lions are the only team in the way. Like this video if you have not yet, subscribe to this channel for more NFL content from me, Wi-Fi Willie. Peace out, and I hope you have a good one.